Hi everyone, it's Annette again from the Emerald Box Turtle. And as I promised last week, I was going to continue with the Tarot 101, and we're going to talk today about the 6s through the 10s. As I said last week, I was talking numerologically about these numbers, and I also want to remind you that I am not a numerologist. I am simply talking about the numbers as they pertain to the tarot. Much like astrology, which is a science unto itself, so is numerology. It's very in-depth, and so I won't pretend to be an expert in a field that I am not. However, the numbers, or the pip cards, can add a lot of interest to a spread and a lot of details. I feel like people are so enamored with the major arcana that the pip cards get largely ignored. So today we're going to finish up with the pip cards, and we will start with the 6s. I've made myself some notes so that I can stay on track. So after we come off the 5s, which as you recall last week was a little volatile energy, a little struggle there, we come back to balance and integration with the 6s. And this integration is of all of the elements that we have had thus far. And when I'm talking about elements, I'm talking again about the natural elements of earth, air, water, and fire. 6s are representative of symmetry and reciprocity. So it's the give and take. And let me caution you now that taking is as important as giving. You have to maintain symmetry and karmic balance by taking. We are taught as children that it is better to give than receive. Well, sort of, in my humble opinion. We need to receive too, so that we can maintain our own health and happiness. It's kind of like when you have a cup, my cup runneth over. That's that old phrase, that old saying. But if you keep pouring from your own cup and you never put anything back in your own cup, all you get at the end is the dregs at the bottom. And then you get cranky. And that leads to resentment, and nobody's happy then. The 6 also represents firm grounding, but also being in touch with universe and the divine spirit. So it's sort of a straddling of the fence there. When we come to the 7s are naturally magic because there are 7 notes in an octave. There are 7 colors in the visible spectrum. Each moon phase lasts 7 days. There are 7 chakras in our bodies. There are 7 days in a week and 7 traditional planets, among other natural 7s in our world. So with that magic, and being an odd number, we're going to have change and creativity again. After the balance and the rest and the symmetry of the 6, we add a 7 to break up that symmetry, and we come to new inventions. But the inventions and so forth, as we are getting higher in numbers, we are getting closer to the divine. And so the 7 can indicate inner work and becoming more spiritual. Then we come to 8s, and 8s are about manifestation and abundance. You are taking all that creativity of the 7s and manifesting something new from that as you pursue your goals and harvest, reap the harvest from having planted your garden or your fields. Now, when you start harvesting, you understand that some things are now no longer needed. For example, you have to have the wheat plant to grow the wheat seeds, true? And then you have to separate the valuable seed from the seed housing or the chaff and the stems. You don't need that anymore. You separate those out, you discard the things you no longer need, and you just stay with the gem that you have created. So 8s can also represent letting go of what you no longer need or what no longer serves you. 9s, we're getting to culminations and completions. Your project is nearly finished. Your phase is nearly finished. So it is also, because you're nearly finished, the first hints of a new path. And because we're coming to new paths, transition are going to start. Also, there's lots of altruism and selflessness associated with the 9 and moral authority. Because as I said, with the 8s and with the 7s, you're starting to get closer to spirituality and inner work and that kind of thing. And the 9 is getting you even closer to that higher sense of self, that higher level of best self, truest self. And then we come to 10s. Now, 10s are completion. They are an ending. But with every ending comes a beginning. So if you think about it, you take the 1 and the 0 from the 10, you put them together and you go back to 1. And then you start all over again at a higher level in a new phase. So the 10 is a manifestation of your project in its fullest form. It contains the elements of all the previous numbers. And it represents the cycles of endless beginnings and endings that we go through at all times. Now, you can be in the middle of one phase as you complete another phase over here. So, I mean, you could be ending a personal relationship just as your business is taking off. You could be well established in a nice, healthy marriage, but you're about to retire. So your career is ending, even though your marriage is still chugging right along. So don't think that endings and beginnings are the endings and beginnings of your life. They are simply the endings and beginnings of a new phase or a portion of your life, a segment of your life, because we are all very multifaceted. And so we have lots of different pieces, parts that are working on different calendars and different timelines. So I hope that learning a little bit about the numbers as they appear in the tarot have made things a little more clear for you people who are learning how to read the tarot cards, or for people who are receiving readings from other readers, and so you're a little bit more knowledgeable when you go into that reading. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all who have been subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time with some more Tarot 101. Bye-bye.